give me like an introduction of yourself.
Okay, my name is Carl Azbell. I'm 37 years old. I've been in real estate for about 16 years, and I built this company, Metroplex Realty, from 7 agents to 70 agents. It's been about 10 or 11 months, and I run Texas's only full-time mentorship training brokerage. Chris came in, he's one of my newer realtors. He's been actually, you know, it's funny, I have a lot of realtors who've been in the business, they quit, they were really discouraged, then they see my email or they talk to somebody that works for me, and they get excited again about real estate.
And the listing date would be today, and he's going to give you 3 weeks. What's the date? What's the expiration date on your listing agreement? Because you've not uploaded that, have you?
It auto-filled a bunch of stuff from the tabs. And then,
well, that's the easiest way to do it. But if you ever want to know the area and subdivision area, then that's the only section that sometimes gets people.
On that listing, Chris came to me and he said, I have 3 weeks to get it sold, so what do I do? So what we do, we take somebody in that situation, we get it listed, we get everything done that needs to get done, and then I help them with the marketing plan.
So there's estimated value 109. That's what this is. Real AVM is this. And so if this is lower than your list price, choose no.
A lot of real estate agents, unfortunately, they'll take a listing and I mean, you have to understand the mindset. Maybe they don't even care if it sells because they're going to get the open house, they're going to get the exposure, and sellers need to understand a lot of the time that, you know, that real estate agent may or may not even care if your home sells.
Yes, include the pre-approval letter and copy yourself, the bank. You know, you never know what to expect with someone. Some people, they just totally surprise you. And then the people that you thought were going to be really, really good in real estate are terrible. And she just said, hey, I'll work hard, and if you give me a shot, then I'll do my best. And she's actually doing really good. She posts all the ads that I teach her to post. She is relentless on calling those people back and texting them and hounding them, you know. And now she has her first offer. So I'm helping her with how to prepare that offer. In sales, like, people will work with you mostly because they trust you. That's like the #1 thing. And you know, in third, fourth, or fifth is the company you work for. You can do what I do, which is crazy. It's a lot of fun.
I think that'd be like a good starting point. I mean, that's what everybody's interested in, is if I get into real estate, how do I get to that point?
Right, because nobody wants to, well, the people that I know don't want to be in real estate to sell 3 homes a year or 5 homes a year, right? They want to get into real estate because they see that you can do what I do, which is awesome, you know, where you have the team. And, you know, my job at this level is to do stuff like I'm doing today, which is build those relationships and then let my realtors take advantage of those relationships. No other company does that. I learned very early on that, because I had sold a lot of properties and I had been an appraiser, I had been in mortgage finance, and I learned very early on that, okay, used pre-owned homes, they're only going to appreciate for so long, and we're going to go back to the real estate market that we had before, which was dominated by builders. No, I never planned on it. I grew up, my father ran businesses his whole life. He was an electrical engineer, designer, inventor, and what that entailed was he had to create tools for oil companies to use, and then he had to convince them how to use it, to buy it and want to use it. And then when they said yes, they would give him this big, huge check. And then what I got to see over and over and over again as a kid was he would then go get an office, he'd hire people, he would say, Carl, here's our expectations of these employees. Here is how we fire employees. Here's how we pay them. Here's how we manage their day. You know, here's how we build contracts. So when we're at new construction, what I like to mention, of course, is not only have I researched the entire development and the builder, and I've gotten a tour of the builder's homes, and I know what their floor plans look and feel like. What I found that
is very interesting is that people that are buying now, they're really young, but they're going for the feeling, you know, a little bit of practicality, but you have to understand that people that I see that are buying homes today, they'd rather drive 15, 20 minutes away and buy something that's brand new. If when they walk in the home, they get this amazing feeling of a you know, whatever it is, you know, like a really cozy environment or a really, you know, open feeling floor plan, whatever it is. But I just find that over and over again, because all the homes that are near the city, they're all the same, really. You walk in and it's like kind of the same feeling every time. So they love the new construction for that reason.
Hey there, great, how are you?
Hi.
Good.
I work for the builder.
Oh, great. Your name, I'm sorry.
Lena Lead.
Okay, perfect.
And so we work with builders, and we, you know, because they kind of outsource their sales efforts to us.
Oh, great.
So I came off the home building side after about 30 years.
Okay.
It's a beautiful.
I mean, might as well stay.
Right.
Washroom. And a little office. Well, at least you can see the finished house and the community. And these are all really nice, but yeah, one of the best things is, you know, with all the apartment communities, and these are expensive. I mean, that place is actually called the Mansions or whatever it is, and I know they spend a lot of money for their rent there, but, you know, running the ads, the advertisement for real farming, the way farming is supposed to be, getting them interested, then bringing them to a beautiful home like this one. I think these prices are only like $280,000, $300,000. Really, really easy, because they're either spending the same in the mortgage payment for this, or maybe even slightly less than the apartment. So it's fantastic. And several years ago, new construction didn't used to be a good investment, but today, wow, you buy a new home, new construction, and literally 2-3 years, $40,000, $50,000, $100,000 equity. I see it all the time. So, you know, such a beautiful home here, but, you know, that's always the best strategy.
So when you're at the new construction site and you kind of know what the what the buyer's looking for, you know, I go in and I talk to that client and I tell them all of what's happening at the site, how many sites are available, what the prices per square foot are, what the school ratings are, how many schools are there, what the student-teacher ratio is, where the Krogers are located, where the entertainment is, where the golf courses are, what's the HOA fee going to be, what will the taxes be, what are the prices per square foot, what kind of architecture can this builder do for you? Some will allow you to move walls, some won't. What kind of paint? Have you been to the design center and seen what's available? What is the build time? You know, what kind of energy efficiency does the property have? What's the warranty on the foundation and the roof? There's just so much to it that I teach real estate agents that when a client comes and we meet them at new construction, man, they're just blown away.
Okay, so maybe start with your name and
Yeah, I'm Carl Azbell. I own and operate Metroplex Realty in downtown Dallas. I've been doing real estate for about, boy, I guess now 15, 16 years. I have about 70 realtors that work for me. I work as North Texas's only real estate, full-time real estate mentor. So I take agents that kind of know the basics. I teach them how to make money. And one of the best ways to make money is teaching them new construction.
okay, so you've been up here at McKinney before? Is this your first time up McKinney? And
Yeah, no, I love McKinney. You know, I get a lot of my realtors to work. I mean, that's where everybody wants to go. Obviously, there's nothing in the central Metroplex. So our clients, everyone's clients, they move to Frisco. They want to be in McKinney. You know, they rent up here a lot. Of course, all the businesses that are here and are moving here, that says something. But you know, such a great place. I tell my buyers all the time. You know, you can get something used in, let's say, Plano, you know, for $300,000, or you can drive 10 minutes away to a place like this, new construction, and pay maybe less or slightly more and get something brand new. And every time they go with something like this, a new construction, they would prefer something that's new.
okay, and then what have you seen so far in these homes as you've gone through, and what appeals to you?
Yeah, I think, you know, it's tough. I've sold hundreds of homes, and when you buy a home, any home, you know, especially with the clients, I'm 37 years old, but, you know, these buyers that are buying homes today, they're really young, and the thing they're looking for most is that when you walk in and you get that really nice feeling, you know, it's something that Tristan and I looked at too when we walked into these homes. What is that feeling initially that you get when you walk in? And, you know, that's what I look for in a good builder. All the homes are built to really good standard, but those that have a really good eye for design and they can capture that feeling when you walk in, that you can envision having family or friends or, you know, a party, you know, that's what people really are attracted to.
Good, okay.
Yeah.
Good, thank you.
Thanks.
Yep.
I had my 6 realtors, and now we have like almost 70. It's been not even a year, and I stopped hiring because I have a list of like 20-something other people that want to interview with me. And we have so many clients and so many realtors that are in Fort Worth and buyers that want to buy in Fort Worth and so on and so forth that what we're in the process of doing now is looking at Fort Worth to find an office similar to mine in downtown Dallas, that looks really nice, has a good view, that's in downtown, because that's where the money is. I mean, with all the businesses and the economy is such, on fire right now, that we want to be in the downtown area. And so we're looking at downtown Fort Worth, maybe something small. I already have 6 realtors in Fort Worth that work for me. I've got a buddy of mine who has been with me for several years. He does really good, came to me from another large brokerage, and he's going to help me build that location, and I'm going to bounce back and forth, I guess, once a week to help the Fort Worth office. But we're there, and we're looking for 500, 600, 700 square feet, just something to get some traction, have the realtors start to come in so I can train them on the marketing that they need to be successful. And if we grow as fast as we are in Dallas, hopefully we'll have another 70 realtors, but they'll be out of Fort Worth. So
We grew the Dallas office so fast and so big that I have a bunch of realtors and customers that want to build or that want to buy and run their real estate businesses out of Fort Worth. I know Fort Worth. I don't have really a presence in Fort Worth, but we're opening an office in Fort Worth. So excited about that. We're here to look at the final 3 buildings that we might go and choose to move into. Is there any street? There's lots of street access, yeah?
Yeah, in terms of.
Well, real estate agents don't come. It's not worth it for a business to spend that money for a parking space. Real estate agents, they just come and go. So parking on the street is what they do downtown. We're going to look at both.
Yeah, I think we should look at both.
So you live in Fort Worth, yeah?
I do. I live super close to this location.
Okay, great.
Beyond 12, you'll understand what
Sure.
I mean by 12. I kind of like to do better. So I guess if you're just sticking a bunch of desks in here.
It's mostly like an open concept.
Yeah.
Do they, I guess, allow?
I do no retail.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't touch that if my life did it.
Did you have a lot of?
How project.
10-year lease. That's a nice commission.
It was real good. Yep.
We're going to redo the interior anyway. Only because we would grow, if it was as successful as Dallas, just to be able to grow quickly
Yeah.
is
Sure.
important to
Sure.
us. Yeah. I mean, it makes.
So do they have like a shared receptionist at this?
They do, yeah. And at that, they could barely speak English. They didn't know what they were doing. It was very, very.
How do you plan on building that office?
I'm going to build it exactly like the downtown Dallas office. So I bought the same materials, the same light fixtures, the same desks, and that way I want uniformity, right? I spent a lot of money on our offices because, when I sold, like for example, Ed Belfour's home of the Dallas Stars, these types of clients come through here. So I'm really big on dress code and how, the realtors talk and walk and how my secretaries who work in my offices. So all of that goes into what clients are looking for, any client really, but especially luxury, high-end, and I don't really necessarily like those terms because I think whether you're high-end buying or not, I think everybody loves that feeling of just being well taken care of and the feeling you get when you walk into a really great place and you're greeted with great service and then the person you're working with is really knowledgeable, right? That's obviously common sense, but that's what I want to build and carry that into Fort Worth also. I see these TV shows all the time with people and they're in Fort Worth and they have like cowboy hats and steer and whatever else it is and blue jeans. None of that exists anymore, right? I mean, maybe if you're in way West Texas where there's only like 10 residents. Everywhere, Dallas, Fort Worth, and all the cities, I mean, it's all business suits and dress shoes.
So how do you think that Fort Worth market and the Fort Worth office is going to differ from the Dallas office?
Well, Fort Worth still has a few investment properties available, a little more than Dallas. A few, the appreciation's been greater in Dallas than it has in Fort Worth. So there's definitely more potential in terms of investment in Fort Worth than in Dallas. I think that Fort Worth, because the economy there, even though it's a lot of business, they're just still catching up. Not catching up, that sounds bad, but they just move at a little slower pace than maybe Dallas, you know. So I think, you know, the customer perspective is different because they don't mind taking a little longer to look. They want to make sure that the whole family looks at the home. They don't just make a decision. You know, we have more families buying homes in Fort Worth, and in Dallas you have more people that just got married and it's just a husband and wife. So it's a different clientele and you have to treat those differently. But that's really the only difference of Fort Worth. That's all I have.